Hello, MediaVerse members, and welcome to MediaVerse Unwrapped, where we bring our non-toxic Facebook community of Marvel fans to life. I'm your host, Max Taff, and I'm joined by my hostess with the mostest, Megan Spangler.
Hi, guys.
This week, we discuss Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, general reception and first looks, Victoria Alonso's firing from Marvel Studios, and so much more. This episode, we wanted to hear from you, our amazing listeners, and decided to infuse some opinions and questions directly from our Facebook group members. So, let's dive in.
I'm so excited for this one. Let's do it.
So let's jump into our first topic of this episode, which would be Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. Poor reception, Zachary Levi going nuts.
We are mixing it up.
Yes, we're going to pivot a little bit and delve into the realm of DC, which isn't typical for our show, but we feel like it's on brand enough. Megan, what are your thoughts?
So I haven't actually seen the movie, but I've seen very, very different opinions on it. I've heard it's really good, or it's, some people call it trash. Which, that happens, but I don't understand why he's coming on so hot, already blaming someone else for the movie's, I guess, supposed failure. It's just not a good look, in my opinion.
I have to agree. He's coming off a little hot. I mean, and not in the good way. He's definitely jumping the gun. I feel like he should have waited at least like a month for... things to have come out. I don't know. It's
weird because he's putting the blame on everyone, which makes me believe that he's afraid that James Gunn is going to, give him the axe on it, which we all thought was going to happen anyways because Gunn didn't have his hand in Shazam.
Uh-huh.
Like, if I were someone looking for an actor for a movie, I don't think I'd hire the guy who's looking quite manic in public because his movie didn't do well and putting the pressure on every other actor that wasn't even in the movie. I feel like that's somewhat of flight risk.
Yeah, and I like the way that you use the word manic here because it definitely feels like he's coming off of like some kind of like a manic episode where he's just like going... He's very passionate, I will say. Zachary Levi, the one who plays Shazam, he's the actor who plays Shazam. You may have seen him in a few other things. He played Thandrel in Thor: The Dark World. He also played Thandrel in Thor Ragnarok, and he's also known for his role on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime. He's been going nuts on social media between interviews he's doing with Entertainment Tonight or Instagram Lives, and he just seems really upset about how his movie has been treated and is doing in the box office. So Megan decided to do a quick poll in our group to get our members' reactions and thoughts. So Megan, why don't you go ahead and give us those results?
So my poll was, did you see Shazam and did you like it? 30% loved it. 5% didn't like it. 10% said, meh, it was okay. And then 55% said they'll wait till it streams. So those are that's pretty wild.
It's kind of all over the place, but I have to say, like, I would probably go with the 55% that's waiting for it to stream.
Oh, I'm not paying for a movie ticket for it. Let's get one thing straight. But if he's acting like this now, it's been out, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You're kind of turning me off from the whole movie because now I'm going in expecting it to be garbage because you're telling me it is. Let it breathe. Give it some room. Quantumania did awful in reviews, but no one said anything. Everyone went to the movie theater, saw it, and loved it. So just let it breathe. Just calm down. You're probably going to lose your job anyways. It's okay. Marvel will take you.
We'll take you back, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a multiversal variant of Thandrel that Zachary Levi can jump back into. Who knows?
I mean, to be honest, I forgot until recently he was in the Thor movies. So I can't be alone. They could give him another job. It's fine. If Oscar Isaac can play 3 characters, we can find room for you.
It's true. And I do have to say, like, I wish he would have waited like at least like a month before jumping on this bandwagon, this like crusade he's got. I mean, it kind of seems like it started with bashing like the online trolls and the fans and blaming them for everything that's happened. And then he kind of jumps to like the DCEU kind of being like revamped and all that, which I can see. And then he is jumping on this whole bandwagon where The Rock is like secretly against him and the movie.
You're right. Zachary Levi, he's been out in public going at it since Gunn took over. At first, it was clearly hey guys, I'm still in DC, so if enough fans get together, he won't get rid of me. Then it was, hey guys, I have a movie coming. Get in there and watch it so I can stay in DC. And now it's, please don't fire me. It wasn't my fault. Don't you see? It's everyone else's fault. It's clear you're worried about your job, which is very fair. But he could not have had much hope in that Gunn would have kept Shazam around if they're revamping the whole DCEU.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like been all over the place. I mean, and you're absolutely right. It has been kind of like a progression from like, oh, go see the film, let's promote it, to like, please don't blame me for what's happening. He's coming off, I will say, and I hate to like compare him to this, but he's coming off as a little immature. Like, I mean, I understand, you're concerned. I understand you're passionate about this project and you love Shazam, you love the character. But I mean, you gotta like let it rest. You're right, Megan. You gotta let it breathe. It's just, it's too much all at once. It seems like he's kind of like scrambling is kind of the vibe he's giving me. He's scrambling to like save whatever or to like justify whatever. But it's like, should have let it breathe. These things usually come out like a good month or two after the films come out in theaters. And he's kind of like laying it all down now. And the videos that I've seen of him just on Instagram Live have been just troubling, to say the least, because he's just
They're not a
everywhere.
Good look. Clearly he knows something that we don't. Whether it was them saying, if it hits this percentage of people like it, we may keep Shazam or we may not. But I think there's no definite, we're getting rid of you, we're keeping you. He's fighting for that, which is fine. I get it. But like, wait just a month. Like that's all we're asking. Because now I don't want to go see the movie because of you. Because you're telling me it sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like he struck out twice on superhero films. Maybe it's just not meant to be. I don't know.
I liked the first Shazam. I really did.
I did too. I liked it.
We even bought it on DVD. We liked it that much.
Wow.
But now it's like
physical media?
I know. I don't even know what to do with it. But just take it in stride. Be a mature actor. Just say, I am proud of this movie. If you guys like it, I hope you do. But if you don't, I can't do anything about that.
I hope he comes out on the other side of this. And to be honest, there's so many different factors going into this film, like, let alone the fact that rebooting the whole franchise. Who knows if he'll be back? I mean, James Gunn has hinted that it's looking positive, but that was a couple of weeks ago before this movie came out. So who knows what's the story now? I mean, let's talk about these rumors of Zachary Levi feuding with The Rock. I'm really interested in this because I think this is just crazy to me. And I mean, you mentioned before, Megan, who is talking about The Rock? I've always heard very positive things, so I'm really interested.
So, Tyrese Gibson, that's a big one. Vin Diesel,
really?
John Cena. Yeah, John Cena. Everyone's mad because he had something with Brendan Fraser where he took a role from Brendan Fraser when Brendan Fraser was at his lowest. So, like, there's a lot of little things that kind of add up. That's like, if everyone is complaining and saying you're only out for yourself and all you had to do was be in Shazam, but the rumors are that he said no, that he didn't want anything to do with Shazam, which doesn't make sense to me. So I'm really hard on not believing that one, just because if you wanted to secure your role in DC after Black Adam didn't do that great in reviews either, why wouldn't you be in Shazam just for a minute or two? That doesn't add up to me. What do you think? Well,
from the way Zachary Levi described it, it seemed like The Rock purposely blocked Shazam from appearing in Black Adam, and he's been putting on Instagram, like he reposted an article from somewhere talking about it, and then he said the truth will set you free. So obviously that, I guess, is what happened, which is a shame because I hate seeing this cattiness between two different, actors. Like, we're all they're all supposed to be on the same page. They're trying to make this universe work, even though it hasn't in the past. I just don't know why The Rock would be like that. I mean, maybe it is Zachary Levi just getting overly, passionate about it and saying that, making it seem like, The Rock is, purposely trying to keep Shazam out. Or maybe The Rock had a reason for doing it. I mean, we really don't know. I'm interested to see when The Rock, claps back and says something about this. I have to say, I'm a little shocked at The Rock because I always had the impression The Rock seemed like a super cool guy, very charismatic, very nice, seemed like a really chill dude, you'd want to be friends with. Funny, personal story. I used to live near like The Rock. He has a house in Fort Lauderdale, or he used to. I don't know if he still does. And I used to have friends that would run into him all the time, like in different places, and said he was super nice. I met his mom once, believe it or not. She came into the place where I worked, and like my manager knew her because
You met his mom?
I did. My claim to fame, The Rock's mom.
God.
She was super nice when I met her, so I don't know. I mean, this was a long time ago, so who knows? Maybe the industry has changed. The Rock, he's become a lot more famous. Who knows? But at the same time, I don't know. I find it hard to believe. I want to believe The Rock's a good guy. He seems super cool. I feel like his whole vibe. I mean, obviously, The Rock isn't like, the best actor in the world. He's not going to be winning like, an Oscar for any like serious competitive category anytime soon. So his charisma and like friendliness is kind of what gets him these roles, I think.
Well, to be fair, he campaigned for himself to be Black Adam for years and years and years. He worked to get that one, and I didn't think he was bad in it. I went into the movie thinking he's going to be the same actor and same role in every movie.
Yep.
But I actually was pleasantly surprised. He did well. I really would have liked to see Shazam in it. I think that would have upped my rating score on it about 10%.
I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought he wasn't bad. But here's where I'm coming from with this. Black Adam is a character that's so closely rooted to Shazam. I mean, when you watch the film, there's so many ties to Shazam without actually mentioning him. Did you notice that?
Yes. It's just so irritating. You would never see this at Marvel. This is so irritating to me.
Never. I know, me too. I mean, the funny thing is, like, his powers come from the same place. Like, there's the same wizard there. Like, they wear the same lightning bolt. Like, it's like, might as well be like brothers. I don't understand. It was so odd that they didn't even mention Shazam or any sort of, like, related thing. Isn't it, like, in Black Adam, doesn't he say the word Shazam to, like, activate his powers? Isn't that part of the movie, too?
He does say it.
He says the word Shazam to transform. Damn it, Dwayne. What the heck?
Petty.
Very petty. I don't know if it was maybe he really wanted his own film. He really wanted, like, didn't want Zachary Levi in it. Like, what it could be, we don't know yet. We're going to stay tuned on this and keep you guys posted as we learn more. This is pretty juicy stuff. And I'm just excited to see why he was blocked from appearing. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. Let's turn over to one of our listeners. All of our members wanted to remain anonymous, so we decided to give them Marvel names instead. They had some really great thoughts on the film and the circumstances. So let's start off with Scarlet Witch's clip.
So, speaking on Shazam 2's box office numbers, I think it's kind of a mix of things. I think some general audience members might just kind of be feeling superhero fatigue. As for DC fans, I think some probably are just confused as to where all these changes and everything are going and probably don't see the point in seeing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some very good points to touch on, I think.
Yeah, I think she has a really good point. Like, why would you go see Shazam if you think there's no future?
It's kind of true. I mean, I have to say, when I heard they were going to continue to release these films that are part of the old DCEU, I thought to myself, I mean, I don't know. They seem to think it was okay to scrap one of their movies entirely and not even release it on streaming. Now, I'm wondering, why did they bother putting in all this promotion and marketing into this film when they've announced recently that they're going to be completely rebooting everything and starting from scratch on a lot of different stuff? I mean, should James Gunn have just sent the rest of the films to HBO Max? I mean, I don't know.
That's a lot of money to lose just to go to streaming. But it's DC. They canceled Batgirl, the entire movie.
And I will say, I kind of got the same vibe when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was ending and when some of the Netflix shows were ending. Once they were being canceled, these shows, I kind of was like, oh, is there even a point to continuing? But, obviously Marvel is Marvel and they have their own way of doing things. And, let's see what happens. It seems to be they're picking up a lot of the things they put down. So, I mean, let's see. DC is so all over the place. We don't know how to anticipate their next move in regards to these properties.
Plus, also, if James Gunn would have sent it straight to streaming, can you imagine the backlash from Zachary Levi? Is that even worth it? Because right now it doesn't seem worth it.
I don't know. I really don't know which way this could have been a better situation, to be honest with you. It's such a shit fest. But in general, I've been hearing people talk about superhero movie fatigue, and I'm not really seeing it with Marvel, but with DC, especially with how poorly Black Adam and Shazam have done, I'm definitely believing it. I mean, it makes sense when you think about the circumstances.
It does. My thing with Marvel and superhero fatigue is I don't think it's superhero fatigue. I think it was Avenger fatigue. So when they did phase 4 with all new stories, all new everything, no Avengers, they were like, oh, that's trash. But now they're like, but wait, there's no Avenger movie? What do we do? But we also don't want that. We don't want the same formula. It's just, they got to try new things. But DC, it's like when your last few movies have just been subpar, I get it. I 100% get it. Because you're like, you're spending your time watching it. You want to be excited for it, but there's no future there. You don't know if they're going to be in the next movie. You don't know if The Rock's going to allow them to.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
I know. And it's like The Rock is the new president of DC. He's really the one in charge here. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's like, do I even bother to watch the post-credit scene? Like, what's the point if they're setting up stuff that's never going to come to fruition, which is one of the reasons why I love Marvel, is because they take everything that they introduce and they reintroduce it back and they follow up on those plot threads and all those things. So that's one of the reasons why Marvel, it's just the quality of their storytelling, I think, that is just far superior. And let's hear from another one of our group members here. He has some pretty interesting takes on this, and his clip is a little long, so we may not play the whole thing. We might just answer bits and pieces. This is Shuri's clip. Let's listen and let's discuss.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods was a good movie. It wasn't a masterpiece or anything, but it was a fun, action-packed, solid superhero film. And this is going to be a hot take, and I know the majority of people will disagree with me, but I'll put it up against most of Phase 4. I mean, movies like Black Widow, Eternals, Love and Thunder. This movie was better than all those. I mean, the Marvel movies are successful because they've secured their fan base. At this point, we'll watch anything and everything they put out. And it's my opinion that we're the ones who are watching these movies. It's not so much the general audience anymore, because now they're diving into themes like timelines and the multiverse, and these themes might be too complex for the general audience. But it's exciting for us fans. There was also a fan on Twitter who said that there are certain Snyder fans who wanted this movie to fail as a way of getting back at the studio for giving over the franchise to James Gunn. And to which Zachary responded that it's true but sad. How big of a factor that is, it's impossible to tell, but it's definitely true. And it's sad. I mean, I'm a big Snyder fan myself. I love his movies, but I'm not part of his little cult. And I don't think it's fair for them to go after Zach and wanting this movie to fail just because of that reason. And I'm personally excited to see what James Gunn is going to do with the DCU. I have complete trust in him. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait.
Oh, God.
God. Shuri.
Well, Shuri, I will say you certainly brought the hot sauce to this picnic. That was quite the spicy take on a lot of different things. That's a lot to unpack. I don't know if the Snyderverse fans would go necessarily hating to Shazam, but maybe they're doing it, like he said, to get back at the studio, to punish them for firing Zack Snyder, or not firing him, but not renewing his contracts, not having him continue. So, I mean, I get it. What do you think, Megan?
As a big Snyder fan myself, I did not hope this movie would fail. I was actually looking really forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
But our listener Shuri really liked it, which I that makes me excited, because he said there was, the violence, the action, the everything you want in a superhero movie, which is really good to hear from a fan. Let those fans talk. That you could have more fans just like Shuri here. But you don't know because you're talking too loud over them.
I know. Shuri is definitely a gem for sticking up for the film. And I was happy to get a positive response when we asked for some feedback from our members. I think DC truly needs to start focusing on some of their side characters with interesting stories, and also make sure they have a plan, because Marvel, the one thing about Marvel, they always have a plan. They always know where that end is going to be, and they know more or less how they're going to get there. They may course correct a little here from there, but DC is just kind of like, let's throw this movie out and see where it goes, and then we'll figure it out the next one. You know what I mean? It never seems concise. We've got Blue Beetle, we've got Flash coming up. Flash is supposed to be this big reset, reboot opportunity for the DCEU that they're transitioning into. So let's see what ends up happening. I mean, who knows? Let's maybe these characters will come back and we'll see them getting sucked into their version of the multiverse and changed up. But I will say, I mean, it's a little annoying, the fact that DC is also trying to copy Marvel by doing like a multiverse type of thing. So it's kind of like, come on, like that's why people are getting fatigued. Like, stop copying Marvel. Let Marvel do its thing. You figure out your own thing. There's plenty of interesting stories.
I could talk about Henry Cavill being let go from DC for hours, so I'll just avoid it.
Yes.
I hope, Henry, you know your worth and you don't go back, because Marvel is waiting for you.
Oh, yes. Henry, you are loved. You are respected, and we need you at Marvel. We would love to have you.
We'll welcome you with open arms.
Open everything, Henry. Open everything. So
Dirty.
Let's talk about a little bit of the drama happening over at Marvel Studios. Let's discuss Victoria Alonso leaving Marvel Studios. Was she fired? We know the real story. We'll get into it in a minute, but we thought it'd be fun to first talk about the rumors we've been hearing on the internet before we get into what the truth of the matter is. So, Megan, why don't you take us into who Victoria Alonso is and what is happening with the rumors?
So, Victoria Alonso, she is one of the biggest people at Marvel. She was let go after 15 years of service. 15 years. She was president of physical and post-production, visual effects, and animation production.
It's a big title.
That's a big title. So she was let go, and the rumors have been that she was extremely toxic to work with. She had favorites. If she didn't like you, you didn't get jobs. If she liked you, you would succeed there. She was toxic to the VFX people. She was toxic to everyone she worked with, and they let that go on for years. At the height of when they were putting out way too much product at once, and the artists were working till 1 a.m. to get these things done, according to anonymous artists that came through that has come forward saying that they had them working weekends, working constantly, like no time at home, just to get these things out, while we have the audacity to complain about the CGI.
Yeah.
And she apparently made it hell for them. That's the rumors. But that is coming from some of those artists. But other artists are saying that she was always professional, always a dream to work with. But having that difference of opinion from two separate artists does not help the rumors that you had favorites. That sounds like your favorite came forward and, had your back.
True. I mean, when I was doing research on this topic, I was reading a bunch of stuff saying the reasoning behind her firing was unknown. A group of executives from Disney, including Disney Entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman, made the final call, which supposedly blindsided Alonso. Kevin Feige supposedly was not involved with the decision and did not intervene on her behalf when Alonso was fired. She didn't know what was happening. There was like a betrayal, dun dun dun. Rumors of abusing visual effects artists, which I found crazy. Like, I mean, I just think the VFX artists have such a hard job to do. I mean, when you think about what their job actually is, when they're presented with like a description or like a rough picture or storyboard, and they're being told to like bring this to life, using computer graphics. I mean, it's such a hard job, and a lot of people like to like complain about VFX, but they're working so hard and they're being overworked. And I think that's part of the reason why we've seen so many shifts in release dates from Marvel, as they're trying to space out their projects more to give the VFX artists a little bit more time, a little bit more freedom, a little bit more room to breathe, bringing them to us. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm thinking.
Isn't it interesting that so many things are delayed? and then the head of multiple things is let go. It's almost like they've been just kind of like working up to here. Like, we know we're going to lose her. Let's give ourselves some leeway.
I have to say, if that's the case, I'm disappointed. Obviously, these are, like I said, we're just talking about the rumors right now. We have not revealed the real reason that she was fired, which was just found out recently.
Like an hour ago.
I know, like it was breaking news like an hour ago. We just found out, so we had to amend our episode a bit. So, yeah. I mean, I will say that it's disappointing to hear if any of that is true. Obviously, rumors, even rumors that are not true, always come from like a little sliver, like based on something that someone saw that caused them to think that was true. So, I mean, hopefully it's not, but if it is, then shame on you, Victoria Alonso, for abusing those VFX artists.
Well, my thing is, like, there's always been those rumors of people saying, I'll never work at Marvel. I know how they treat those artists. And she was the head of it. So that makes sense. These rumors were there before this happened.
Yeah.
And every single rumor I've seen has the same base. She was toxic to the artists. A rumor has to come from somewhere.
When you think about it, she has been there since Iron Man. She's been there from the ground up on this incredible franchise that has been built. And obviously, we appreciate her contributions. I'm sure she's had many amazing things that she's contributed. And we're not saying that, she's the devil by any means. We're just, discussing what we've read online. So, I mean, I'll always give someone the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully it's not the case. But if it is, it is what it is. Maybe this was justified. But let's stop talking about like what we think and the rumors and not relying on reliable sources for our information. And let's talk about what is actually the real reason that she was let go from Marvel Studios. Let's talk about that a little bit. Megan, you broke the story to me earlier, so why don't you go ahead and give us a little teaser?
So it turns out it was actually a breach of contract firing. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, Alonso was one of 8 producers on the Argentine historical drama. Argentina, 1985, which was distributed by Amazon, not Marvel, Amazon. So since she was on it, she breached her contract several times. After repeated warnings, they warned her. She knew what she was doing. The situation came to a head the week after the Oscars and ultimately led to her termination. Messy. You're messy. That is what I would call you.
Super sloppy. My perspective on that portion of this, like truth coming to light, is the fact that it seems like maybe she was, they knew what she was doing. They gave her the warnings, but they were kind of just being cool about it for like, let's let her do it. Maybe something else happened that was like, okay, this is going to be our excuse to fire her. She is in breach of contract. We were being cool about it, but we really don't need to be. Let's just get rid of her. I mean, that's kind of how I'm thinking. That's what I would do if I were them. I would be like, okay, it's cool. You play, you have other projects. Then you mess up while you're doing that, and it's like, okay, no, like you got to go. It's too much.
Apparently, the thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back was the Oscars.
Really?
They were told, do not promote this movie. Do not do anything with it. She showed up to the Oscars, and they're like, okay, cool, she's here. But then she started taking pictures with the producer of Argentina movie. And that's, I believe, from what I'm reading, what I'm seeing, the sources, that is the thing. They're like, okay, we told you not to do this. We warned you. We gave you warnings. We told you exactly what guidelines to follow. And you come out in public and break your contract. That's the issue. That's bold. I'll be honest with you.
Maybe she was ready to leave. Maybe that's why she did this on purpose. And she was like, time for me to go. I want to work on something else. Maybe she was like, I'm just going to breach my contract and they're going to fire me. And then that's it. I mean, I would like to know more about this. I hope that the more details come to light soon.
I want juicy details. I don't want about contract. I want to know what she did. I want to know who she's talking to. I want to know the gossip.
Yes, I need to know. You're absolutely right. I need some scandal. I need some juice. I need to know if she slapped Kevin Feige. I need to know if she fought Scarlett Johansson over her salary. Like, I need to know if she's the reason Shazam is failing in the box office. I need to know everything.
Every single thing. I need to know if she's the reason why we still have daylight savings. I bet she is.
Victoria, let us release us from daylight savings, please.
Please, I have 2 babies. I'm so tired. So for the final thoughts, we have a member who has final thoughts on it. We, of course, couldn't use his name. So his name is Iron Lad.
Yes, Iron Lad. Last but not least, let's see what he has to say.
She's been working with Marvel since 2006, and with working with them all these years, power's probably gone to her head. And in my opinion, it's time for someone new to take over with that.
Okay.
Definitely thinking about the future, Iron Lad. I kind of have to say, I mean, once more details come out, we'll be able to say for sure. But, who knows? That could be it.
But he's right, though. At some point, if you're getting such bad reviews and there's complaints, probably best to cut it off at the bud,
Maybe she did get a little too big for her britches, like Iron Lad said. Maybe that was the reason why she was, abusing VFX artists, if that's the case. And maybe that's why she decided that she was going to work on a non-Marvel movie and be okay with getting fired. I mean, who knows? Maybe she just was like, I'm done. I don't care.
What do you want to bet James Gunn has already been in talks with her? Because I think he has.
Oh my God.
Based on there's no reason for me to think it. That would just make this so perfect.
Yeah. You heard it here first, everyone. This is the talk we're having. Victoria Alonso heading over to DC. No, we're just kidding. If he went after Victoria Alonso, I mean, I think that would rub Kevin Feige wrong. I think that would rub me wrong. It would rub all of us wrong. I'd be rubbed raw.
I think he'd be dumb not to go after her unless he knows something we don't. But that would be making it pretty clear that there is some touchy feelings between DC and Marvel, because up till now they've only been supportive of each other. But James Gunn was fired from Marvel, then picked up by DC like the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would just be, that would be glorious. Of course, Marvel will never give into the gossip and tell you what's going on.
It's true.
It would all have to be from James Gunn's Twitter.
Oh God, that man's another one that loves to get passionate on social media, and I think that sometimes it definitely backfires. But at the same time, I respect how open he is, because when you compare him to Kevin Feige is very tight-lipped. He only lets out like the tiniest little teases, and he's very careful. But I do like the way that James Gunn is always very open about his films and about his process. I've always respected that about him and thought that it was very interesting to see that perspective of things, especially when he was talking about Guardians and stuff, when he was in the middle of those films and all that. I would like to see them both prosper in their own ways, and I'd love to eventually see a crossover. And I think that with James the Helm, if, the way they've been playing in interviews is true, and it is, not like just putting on airs for the cameras, I think that if they continue to be so cordial, that we could definitely see that as a possibility. I mean, with multiverse storylines and all that, I mean, we've got a long way to go with multiverse in the Marvel universe. So it's not impossible to see, like, Superman fly in and save Spider-Man from something, who knows?
DC's not there yet. They're still crawling while Marvel's running.
Yes, no, Marvel got in the car and is driving away at this point. DC's still crawling. So let's just do a quick little rumor roundup, if you're a game.
Yes, please do.
So let's discuss first big breaking news that I was able to break in our group before most major news outlets.
Yes, you beat everyone.
I did. I was so proud.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I never beat everyone.
Yeah, oh my God, it was so quick. I didn't see it for hours from anyone else.
Yes. That's the best feeling. So the news we were able to break, it was this week. Nick Fury's wife, Priscilla, confirmed for Secret Invasion, the TV series that will be on Disney Plus later this year. The actress posted on her professional website that she would be appearing in Secret Invasion as Priscilla, Nick Fury's wife. She reposted an article that was contemplating and like, sussing out rumors, and she took the bait. She took the bait and she confirmed it.
Yeah, it was Charlene Woodard.
Yes.
She is going to be Mrs. Fury. And I think that's such a good casting. She's so, it's just so perfect. I'm so happy about it.
Really? I don't know if I'm familiar with her work. I'd have to look her up a little bit more and see if I've seen anything she's been in. But I think it's really cool that Nick Fury is going to have a wife. I mean, I know we got a little bit of a tease of this mentioned in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, when, Nick Fury is on the run from Hydra, who has infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's talking to Cap, and his cover story is his wife kicked him out. I mean, what are your thoughts on that whole setup? Do you think that it'll be part of this? Do you think he's just got married? Do you think that was just, something fictitious he was coming up with to cover his tracks? What do you think, Megan?
Well, I've always liked her. Well, I'm not always. I mean, I just became aware of her when I watched Glass. She was in that movie. She was really good.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was lying about being married. So I'm a little confused that Nick Fury actually told the truth, which is wild. But I'm actually really happy he's married. Okay, someone in the group, in our Facebook group, MediaVerse Comics Unwrapped, said that they want it to be the same tone as Frozone and Honey in The Incredibles, where he's like, "Where's my super suit? It's for the greater good, and I'm the greatest good you're ever gonna get." That's the tone I need. Anything else, I don't want it.
That is brilliant. I would kill. That would be such a good thing for Disney to pull. I think that would be amazing. I would love that so much. I would love that kind of a dynamic between him and his wife. And I think that's something we would definitely get. I mean, Nick Fury is just strong personality. You have to have another strong personality that gets along with him to be his, like, legally bound mate. Like, you have to really be a strong, like, character who can speak her mind and be, like, on it. But at the same time, maybe she's not. Maybe he is attracted to someone who's the complete opposite of him. Someone who's just, like, maybe she's like a school teacher, or she's just someone, you know, like with a regular everyday job that, you know, doesn't necessarily know exactly what he does.
I hope she's someone that is very firm but very kind. Like you said, like a school teacher, actually. That's like very kind. But when she needs to, she can go off. I want him to have that slightly, that healthy fear of him, like, look, please don't tell my wife. She's going to be pissed. Like, that's what I want from this.
I would love that.
I feel like if he would have someone that can challenge him, that inspires him, not someone he can just, like, do what he wants and they won't say anything back. I feel like he needs a strong woman.
I really like the way you said that. I have to agree. I think he needs someone that's going to put him in his place.
Yes. Yeah.
I definitely just, like, have a ton of questions. I want to know so many different things. Like, how does she know what he does? I mean, when you date someone with an eye patch that, like, underneath has, like, scratch marks on their face, like, you have to wonder, like, where did you get that eye patch from? Like, what happened to you?
And then he says it's from a cat.
Yeah, exactly. He's not really lying. So, I mean.
Yeah, I think she has to know.
I think so, too.
Because, you know, he hid Clint Barton's family, who's Hawkeye. He hid their family. They all know there's a risk, and the person they would go after is Nick Fury's wife. What if she's an agent? What if she's his boss?
Okay, so right there, a very good line of thought. So when I did some research on this character, because I wasn't familiar as a non-comic reader, but someone who's interested in the comic book storylines and intends to read them, or will plan to read them eventually, I was reading that she was actually if I'm not mistaken, she was like the leader of SWORD. So, I mean, SWORD and S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe that could be their dynamic. Like, maybe she hired him when S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of fell through or something. I mean, maybe that could be what it was.
Okay, I really like that. I want to see that power struggle somewhat. Like, he's like, don't you know who I am? She's like, don't you know who I am? That's what I need.
I mean, oh my God, I just had a weird idea. But what if Priscilla, and hear me out, I mean, you know, this could be really far-fetched, but when we think about SWORD and the introduction of that organization to the MCU, we started that whole journey in WandaVision, and the way that was introduced was through Monica Rambeau. She, you know, got snapped by Thanos right in the hospital when her mom was, like, returning from surgery. What we know about her mom, you know, Maria Rambeau, is that, you know, a majority of her storyline in Captain Marvel took place in the 90s. So, I mean, is it outlandish to say that maybe Priscilla is like an older version of Maria Rambeau with a different identity? Oh. Maybe Monica doesn't know that her mom is alive. She never saw her die. Wasn't I just blowing your mind?
There's a lot there. I really like that.
I mean, we never saw her die.
No, we didn't. We just heard she did. And then I guess Monica doesn't remember her dying. So that's suspect. But I thought, like, you know, she's
because Monica was in the hospital.
Yeah. Something's there because they wouldn't just, like, bring in SWORD for no reason, which it kind of seems like they did.
Right.
But, like, what if it connects to the Marvels because Monica Rambeau's there, and what if Monica Rambeau, that's his wife's number one, but Nick Fury's number one is Captain Marvel, and they go at it because there's already it's already divisive. So it's like SWORD versus S.H.I.E.L.D. My boss is better than your boss. This person, they said I could do this. Well, my boss said I could do this. Well, our bosses are married. I wonder if that like could happen.
It would be like a Mrs. and Mr. Smith like part 2 type of thing. That would be insane. We just wrote a whole movie, guys. Marvel, call us.
Seriously,
We have such good ideas. This is awesome. This would be awesome.
God, and we're giving these ideas away for free. My gosh.
I know. There's a ton going on. I will say from the get-go, when I heard about this and I thought back to Civil War, bringing it back to what I was talking about before, when Nick Fury is telling Cap, like, oh, my wife kicked me out, this and that, when you think about that scene, a lot of people assumed he was lying, but think about it this way. Don't you think that Hydra would have known that Nick Fury had a wife? They would have known if he was lying? They would have known these things about him?
Unless they never actually...
I mean, being a part of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Unless they never actually got married and they're just like husband and wife to each other. Because if they actually got married, there's a paper trail. And he's smarter than that.
That's true. I have so many questions.
I need to know.
I mean, he could have been telling the truth all along.
Yeah,
he could have been telling the truth the whole time, and we just assumed he was lying.
But then, like, it goes back to, I think Nick Fury's a Skrull. So it's like, is she a Skrull?
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. Like, I don't know. But I really hope because wouldn't
I can't wait for them.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, not enough people are talking about Secret Invasion, which is crazy. But I think it's because we haven't gotten anything. But still, like, I'm just like foaming at the mouth. I'm so excited for it.
It's coming this year, so we will be covering it at some point.
Yes.
Stay tuned to see if any of our random theories come to fruition. We'll be covering that as well. But
you heard them here first.
Exactly. We were the first ones, so don't forget. I think. So we do have a couple other things that we'd like to kind of just touch on quickly. 2 writers announced for Vision Quest, Megan McDonald from WandaVision and The Marvels, Agatha Coven of Chaos as well, and Peter Cameron from WandaVision, Moon Knight, and Werewolf by Night. Christoph Beck is joining as composer for Agatha Coven of Chaos. We are so excited. Those songs in WandaVision were some of the best parts of the show, some of the most iconic parts. Absolutely. So we are excited for that as well. And that's a wrap on MediaVerse Unwrapped. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, join our non-toxic Facebook group, MediaVerse Comics Unwrapped. Follow our public Facebook page, MediaVerse Plus. Follow or subscribe to us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at MediaVerse Comics Unwrapped. Our episodes are available early on Tuesdays exclusively to our Facebook group members and officially drop Wednesdays wherever you stream your favorite podcast. Thank you so much for sending in your voice notes, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Goodbye for now.
Bye, guys.